Most people talk about manifestation like it's some magical formula where you just think positively, and suddenly the universe delivers everything you desire. But the real code behind manifestation goes much deeper than surface level affirmations or vision boards. Imagine the universe as a quantum computer. It doesn't just respond to what you say consciously, it responds to the frequency of your entire being. That means your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and even your unconscious patterns are constantly sending out signals, like code, to the fabric of reality. If the code you're transmitting is inconsistent, like one moment you're affirming abundance, but deep down you still believe you're broke, then the universe receives mixed instructions. And mixed instructions lead to mixed results. This is why so many people feel frustrated when manifestation doesn't work. They think it's about repeating affirmations or writing goals in a notebook, but the hidden code lies in alignment. Alignment means every layer of you, mind, body, and soul, is speaking the same command to the universe. The key is coherence. When your emotions match your intentions, when your subconscious beliefs match your spoken desires, and when your daily actions reflect your highest vision, then the code you send out is crystal clear. That's when reality has no choice but to mirror back the frequency you're broadcasting. Think about it like this: if you were programming a computer, but half of the code was written in English and the other half in Chinese, the machine would crash because it wouldn't know which instructions to follow. Manifestation works the same way. If you're visualizing wealth, but feeling scarcity in your heart, you're sending out two conflicting sets of code. The universe can't process contradictions. It simply amplifies the dominant signal. And here's the secret most people don't talk about. Your emotions are 1,000 times more powerful than your thoughts. You can think, "I am successful," all day long, but if you feel like a failure, that emotional code overrides the mental code. Emotions are like high-voltage currents. They carry the true power that imprints on the field of reality. That's why mastering manifestation requires emotional mastery. You must feel the reality of what you desire as if it already exists. Gratitude, joy, certainty, and inner peace. These are the emotional codes that unlock doors in the quantum field. The mistake people make is trying to control external circumstances instead of rewriting their internal code. When you shift the frequency of your inner state, the outer world naturally rearranges itself to match. Manifestation isn't about forcing, it's about broadcasting the correct signal. And the signal is written in the language of vibration, not words. The real code behind manifestation is learning how to align your subconscious, emotions, and actions into one unified frequency. Once you master that, manifestation stops being a mystery. It becomes predictable. You're no longer waiting for miracles, you're programming reality itself. One of the greatest misunderstandings about manifestation is that people believe it's about asking the universe for something outside of them. But the code of manifestation doesn't begin externally. It begins internally, in the source field of your consciousness. Think of your mind as a transmitter, your emotions as amplifiers, and your subconscious beliefs as the operating system that determines what signals actually get broadcasted. If you're trying to manifest love, but you secretly believe deep down that you're not worthy of being loved, then the subconscious operating system cancels out the conscious request. The code behind manifestation works like this. Your subconscious mind is the programmer, and it writes the hidden scripts that shape your reality. That's why people who carry unhealed trauma or limiting beliefs struggle so much with manifestation. They keep sending corrupted code into the universe. The way to fix this is not by just thinking positive, but by going into the root of your programming and rewriting it. You must learn to identify the patterns that no longer serve you. Whether they're beliefs about money, love, health, or self-worth, and replace them with new emotional imprints. The subconscious responds not to logic, but to repetition and emotion. That's why affirmations only work when you emotionally feel them, not when you just recite them mechanically. Imagine you're learning a new language. At first it feels awkward and foreign, but with repetition, your brain wires new connections until eventually it becomes automatic. The same is true for manifestation. Your subconscious must be trained through emotional repetition until the new code becomes the default program. And here's the part no one talks about: the universe doesn't reward wanting. Wanting is an energy of lack. The more you say, "I want," the more you're reinforcing that you don't have it. Instead, the code that works is being. You must embody the state of already having it, already living it, already being the version of yourself who owns that reality. The subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It only responds to the intensity of your emotional experience. If you can close your eyes and feel the joy of receiving what you desire as if it already happened, your subconscious writes that as new code. The universe then rearranges itself to mirror that state back to you. This is why people who cultivate gratitude and abundance consciousness often seem lucky. They're broadcasting a different code that magnetically pulls opportunities toward them. Manifestation isn't about begging the universe. It's about broadcasting the frequency of already being aligned with your desire. Once you understand this, the entire game changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. If manifestation truly operates like code, then it's important to understand how that code gets corrupted. Think of your life as a software program that has been written by years of experiences, beliefs, cultural conditioning, and emotional memories. From the moment you were born, lines of code were being installed into your subconscious, some empowering, others limiting. When you were told as a child that money is hard to come by, that became a line of code. When you were rejected in love, that heartbreak became code that says, love equals pain. Over time, these lines of code pile up, and most people run their lives on outdated scripts that no longer serve their highest potential. The key to unlocking manifestation is debugging your system. You must look at the lines of code you've unconsciously accepted and ask, does this serve me, or does this sabotage me? Many people never stop to question their programming, which is why they keep manifesting the same cycles: poverty, heartbreak, failure, over and over again. The universe is not punishing them. It's simply mirroring the code they are running. But here's the good news: just like software, code can be rewritten. You are not stuck with the old programs you inherited. Through practices like meditation, journaling, hypnosis, and energy work, you can bring hidden code to the surface and reprogram it consciously. For example, if your old code says, "I am unworthy of success," you can rewrite it with, "I am worthy of abundance and opportunities flow to me effortlessly." But the trick is not just in writing the new line, it's in emotionally living it until your subconscious accepts it as truth. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool in manifestation. When you vividly imagine yourself living the reality you desire, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if it were happening in real time. Over repetition, those neural pathways become stronger, and eventually, they become your subconscious default. The universe then reflects that new code in the form of opportunities, synchronicities, and outcomes that align with your rewritten program. The mistake people make is trying to change their external world without updating their internal code. It's like trying to change the display on a computer screen without rewriting the actual software. It just doesn't work. Manifestation is not about forcing external changes. It's about rewriting the code inside you so that the external naturally shifts to match. Once you grasp this, you realize you are never a victim of circumstances. You are always the programmer of your reality. Another piece of the manifestation code that rarely gets discussed is the role of frequency and resonance. The universe doesn't deliver based on what you ask for with your words. It delivers based on what frequency you live in daily. Frequency is simply the vibration of your dominant emotional state. If your baseline is stress, worry, or self-doubt, then no matter how many affirmations you repeat, the universe will keep matching that anxious signal. This is why you might know people who constantly say, "I'm manifesting wealth," Yet their lives show the opposite. Their code is scrambled because their words say one thing while their frequency broadcasts another. The real secret is coherence. When your inner vibration resonates with your desired reality, you create magnetic pull. Imagine a radio. If you want to listen to 101.5 FM but your tuner is set to 89.7, you'll never hear the signal clearly. Manifestation works the same way. You must tune your personal frequency to match the station of your desire. That means if you want love, you must live in the vibration of love, not loneliness. If you want wealth, you must embody abundance, not lack. Most people approach manifestation backward. They think they'll feel abundant once they get the money, or they'll feel loved once they find the partner. But the code demands that you feel it first, because the frequency comes before the form. When you live in gratitude for the life you already have, you broadcast the frequency of abundance, and that code magnetically attracts more abundance. This is why gratitude journals, daily appreciation practices, and mindfulness are not just feel-good exercises. They're frequency hacks. They rewrite your energetic code and shift your resonance. And here's another hidden truth: the universe doesn't respond to forced positivity. It responds to authentic frequency. That means you don't need to pretend everything is perfect. You just need to consciously choose emotional states that raise your vibration. Even small shifts, like taking a deep breath when stressed, focusing on one thing you're grateful for, or imagining a joyful memory, can recalibrate your frequency. These micro adjustments stack over time, reprogramming your baseline vibration. The code behind manifestation is less about effort and more about energetic consistency. The more consistently you hold the frequency of your desire, the faster it manifests in the physical. Once you get this, you stop obsessing over when or how it will happen and instead focus on living in the state of alignment every day. Now let's talk about something even deeper: the role of identity in manifestation. Your identity is the master code. It overrides everything else: your thoughts, emotions, and even your actions. If deep down your identity is, "I'm someone who always struggles," then no matter how many manifestation techniques you practice, that core self-image will sabotage the results. The subconscious mind is programmed to stay consistent with your identity, because identity creates safety. Even if your current reality is painful, if your identity is built around that pain, your subconscious will cling to it. That's why change feels so uncomfortable. Because rewriting identity means rewriting the deepest lines of code. The secret most people don't realize is that you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. If you want to manifest wealth, you must become the person who naturally embodies wealth consciousness. If you want love, you must shift into the identity of someone who is lovable and worthy. This doesn't mean pretending or faking. It means deliberately sculpting a new self-image that matches your desired reality. Visualization, affirmations, and journaling are tools, but their real power lies in how they shape identity over time. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be rich," you shift your language to, "I am someone who attracts wealth effortlessly." Instead of saying, "I hope someone loves me," you shift to, "I am love, and my energy magnetizes loving relationships." This identity coding creates alignment between your inner self and the reality you're calling in. But identity coding is not only mental. It must also be embodied. Your habits, choices, and behaviors are daily votes for the identity you're creating. If you want the identity of a successful entrepreneur, you don't just affirm it. You act like one. You make decisions from that identity. You discipline yourself like one. Every action writes another line of code into your subconscious program. Over time, the old identity fades, and the new one takes root as the default. That's when manifestation accelerates, because your frequency, beliefs, and actions are all consistent with your new self. The hidden code of manifestation is not in chasing desires, but in upgrading identity. Once identity shifts, the external world has no choice but to conform. Let's decode another secret time: Most people fail at manifestation because they misunderstand the role of time. They think manifestation is about asking today and receiving tomorrow, and when it doesn't happen instantly, they lose faith. But the universe doesn't operate on the human concept of linear time. It operates on alignment. The delay between intention and manifestation is not punishment, it's calibration. It's the time needed for your internal code to stabilize so the external can match it. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up the next day and complain it hasn't grown. You water it, nurture it, and trust the process. Manifestation is the same. The code is planted the moment your intention, emotion, and belief align. After that, it requires consistent nurturing through frequency and action. The reason impatience blocks manifestation is because it shifts your frequency from trust to doubt. Doubt scrambles the code. Every time you think, "Why isn't it here yet?" you're sending a new instruction that contradicts your original signal. The universe then mirrors the doubt instead of the desire. This is why detachment is such a powerful part of the manifestation code. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you trust so deeply that you no longer obsess over timing. You know the code has already been sent, and the universe is rearranging circumstances behind the scenes. In fact, many times the delay works in your favor. The universe may be preparing a path that's bigger and better than what you asked for. But if you obsess over time, you may close yourself off to the miracles being aligned for you. The code of manifestation requires faith, patience, and emotional stability. Time is not your enemy. It's the bridge between your current frequency and the frequency of your desire. Once you stop fighting the delay and instead use it to strengthen your alignment, manifestation becomes less stressful and more natural. You stop asking, "When will it come?" and start living as if it's already on its way. That state of trust is the most magnetic frequency you can broadcast. Another hidden element of the manifestation code is action. Many teachings oversimplify manifestation by making it seem like all you have to do is sit on a couch, think positive thoughts, and wait for things to appear. While your thoughts and emotions are the foundation, action is the code that grounds intention into the physical dimension. Think of action as the final step in compiling the program. Without it, the code remains theoretical. For example, if you're manifesting a new career, you must still apply for opportunities, build skills, and show up for interviews. If you're manifesting a soulmate, you still need to put yourself in spaces where connection is possible. Action doesn't contradict manifestation. It completes it. But here's the nuance. Action must be aligned, not forced. Aligned action flows naturally from your frequency and identity, while forced action comes from fear and desperation. You can feel the difference. Aligned action feels inspired, exciting, and often effortless. It feels like the universe is nudging you, opening doors, and giving you synchronicities. Forced action feels heavy, frustrating, and resistant. The code of manifestation requires you to follow inspiration and intuition, because that's how the universe communicates the next step. Think of it like GPS in the system doesn't give you all the directions at once. It gives you the next turn, and as you move, the path unfolds. The same is true for manifestation. You may not know how the entire outcome will arrive, but if you follow the inspired nudges, you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. This is where faith and courage play a role. Many people block manifestation because they receive intuitive guidance but ignore it out of fear. The universe might be telling you to quit a draining job, to call someone, or to invest in yourself, but if you resist, you interrupt the code. Taking inspired action is how you say yes to the universe's response. Once you align your frequency, shift your identity, trust the timing, and follow inspired action, the manifestation code is complete. Reality has no choice but to reflect your signal. One overlooked aspect of manifestation is clarity. Most people say they want a better life, but that statement is too vague for the universe to process. Clarity is like precise coding. The clearer the instruction, the faster and more accurately the outcome arrives. If you program a computer with vague commands, the result will be messy. Similarly, when you set clear intentions, specific feelings, experiences, and outcomes, the code becomes executable. But clarity isn't only about details, it's about the emotional essence behind them. If you ask for a big house but the essence you want is safety and freedom, then focus on broadcasting the feeling of safety and freedom. The house will be just one of many possible manifestations of that frequency. The universe understands frequency better than words. That's why emotional clarity is the ultimate code. Decide what you want to feel, and reality will deliver forms that match. Another part of the hidden code is environment. You can't manifest abundance if you're constantly surrounded by scarcity-minded people. Your environment reinforces your frequency like background code running on a system. If you keep absorbing fear, gossip, or negativity, your subconscious will keep writing that into your program. That's why one of the fastest ways to upgrade your manifestation power is to upgrade your environment. Spend time with people who inspire you, read material that uplifts you, listen to content that reinforces abundance and growth. Your surroundings either support or sabotage your code. If you can't change your physical environment immediately, start curating your mental environment. Protect your energy, choose what you consume, and create small rituals that anchor you into high frequency. The environment you live in becomes the soil for the seeds you're planting. Rich soil equals rich results. Here's a deeper truth: resistance is part of the manifestation code. When you set a powerful intention, old limiting beliefs often rise to the surface. This doesn't mean manifestation isn't working. It means the system is debugging itself. The subconscious is revealing lines of code that need rewriting. Most people quit at this stage because challenges appear, but in reality, those challenges are opportunities to release old frequencies. Think of it like cleaning your computer's hard drive before installing new software. You can't run abundance on a system filled with fear-based programming. When resistance shows up, self-doubt, delays, setbacks, recognize it as the system updating. Instead of panicking, lean into it, reprogram the belief, and hold your frequency steady. On the other side of resistance is alignment, and on the other side of alignment is manifestation. One final code many ignore is service. When you link your desires to a greater purpose beyond yourself, manifestation speeds up. The universe is abundant, but it favors flows that benefit the collective. If your desire for wealth is tied only to greed, it feels heavy. But if your wealth supports your family, creates opportunities for others, or fuels a purpose bigger than you, the frequency becomes magnetic. Service aligns you with universal flow. Even small acts of giving raise your frequency and keep your code clean. It's not about sacrificing your desires. It's about expanding them so they resonate with the bigger picture. When your manifestation uplifts not only you but also others, the universe rushes to support it. That's the hidden code of expansion. Another hidden code of manifestation is self-worth. You never receive more than what you believe you deserve. If your subconscious code says, "I'm not worthy of success, love, or abundance," then even when opportunities show up, you'll sabotage them. Self-worth is like the password that unlocks the system. Without it, the program won't run. That's why inner healing, self-love, and confidence work are not just self-care. They are essential lines of manifestation code. When you raise your self-worth, you naturally raise your receiving frequency, and the universe mirrors it back. Let's talk about imagination. Most people stop imagining after childhood, but imagination is the creative coding language of the universe. Your mind doesn't know the difference between vividly imagined scenarios and reality. When you imagine with emotion, your subconscious writes that as a real experience and begins aligning with it. This is why athletes rehearse mentally before games, and why visionaries like Tesla or Einstein used imagination as their tool. The clearer and more emotionally charged your imagination, the stronger the code you send out. In manifestation, imagination isn't daydreaming, it's programming reality. Silence and stillness are also part of the manifestation code. Many people flood the universe with requests, affirmations, and visualizations, but forget to listen. Stillness is when the universe uploads instructions back to you. Meditation, deep breathing, or simply being present opens a channel where intuition can guide you toward inspired action. Without silence, you might miss the signals, synchronicities, gut feelings, sudden ideas that are actually the universe's way of responding to your code. Think of it like if you're too noisy inside, the connection drops. Stillness ensures a strong connection to the source. A vital piece of the code is gratitude in advance. Most people wait until they receive something to feel grateful, but the manifestation code requires gratitude before it shows up. When you give thanks as if it already exists, you're telling the universe, "This is real now." That signal is incredibly powerful because gratitude vibrates at one of the highest frequencies. It not only accelerates manifestation but also removes resistance because you shift from wanting to already having. Gratitude rewrites lack into abundance, and abundance attracts more abundance. A crucial part of the manifestation code is detachment from the how. Many people block their desires because they try to control every detail of how it should arrive. But the universe has infinite pathways to deliver your intention, and often the best route is one you cannot see. When you insist on a specific method, you restrict the flow. Detachment means trusting the process without micromanaging it. Your job is to set the frequency, align your identity, and take inspired steps. The universe's job is to arrange the details. Once you let go of how, manifestation often happens faster and in ways beyond your imagination. Another hidden code is consistency. Manifestation is not a one-time ritual. It's a lifestyle. If you meditate once, visualize once, or affirm once, but then spend the rest of your day in fear and doubt, the code gets scrambled. Consistency is what rewrites your subconscious and stabilizes your frequency. Small daily practices like gratitude, visualization, journaling, or mindful breathing compound over time. Just as consistent exercise transforms the body, consistent energetic alignment transforms your reality. The universe responds most to the energy you hold repeatedly, not occasionally. Let's decode the role of faith. Faith is the invisible glue that holds the manifestation code together. Without faith, every delay feels like failure, and doubt overrides your signal. Faith doesn't mean blind belief. It means inner certainty that what you desire is already yours in the unseen, even before it shows up in the seen. This certainty keeps your frequency steady, no matter what external reality looks like. Faith keeps you in the vibration of receiving instead of chasing. The stronger your faith, the faster the universe aligns your desires with physical reality. Another overlooked piece of the code is joy in the present moment. Many people put happiness on hold, saying, "I'll be happy when I manifest money, love, or success." But that delays manifestation because you're broadcasting lack and postponement. Joy isn't the result, it's the magnet. When you cultivate joy now, in simple daily moments, you align with abundance immediately. Joy raises your vibration higher than almost any other state, making you magnetic to opportunities. The universe responds to your current joy, not your future plans. Living joyfully now codes your reality for even greater joy later. The final code no one talks about is alignment with your higher self. Manifestation isn't just about material things. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. When your desires are aligned with your true purpose, the universe supports them effortlessly. But when your desires come only from ego or fear, the path feels blocked. The higher self is the master programmer. It knows the full blueprint of your life. By connecting through meditation, intuition, and inner guidance, you ensure your manifestation code is perfectly aligned with your destiny. When ego and soul work together, manifestation becomes effortless, purposeful, and unstoppable.